Mickey Dickey here, and the Bob Iger run Disney now has decided to get rid of a bunch more jobs. Now, it says 4,000 jobs on this website. Yahoo is suggesting it's going to be 7,000 jobs, and to some extent it doesn't necessarily matter which is right, because I'm guessing it's going to be more towards the 7 and above than it is the 4. And the reason I say that is some people have been confused as to why the stock of Disney has gone down the way that it has. And when you take a look at what's happened since Iger left, and I'm going to pull up a chart here for you. Now, this is just simply bare bones in it. This is just off of Yahoo, so nothing special. But when you look at the end of 2019, Iger was still running the show here. You had an EPS of 6, which is pretty darn solid. The next year, you've got the Marvel-Sony combination going on. So Iger's still involved here for part of this time. But for the total year, he was not in there for the whole time. So just a couple of months there. Time frame's different. They're not using a fiscal calendar year. They're using the end of the year is the end of September, so it's not December. So Iger left in February. So roughly half the year he was in there, the other half not. But again, you've got a year here where you've got COVID and you've got a bunch of things going on. That's a whole nother factor. But what I want to talk about is that when you've got 69 billion in sales, and you got 11 billion in profit, that's a nice return. Now fast forward to the last 12 months that it's recorded, you've got 82 billion, which is a nice increase from the 69. But look at your profit. When you're only at 3 billion versus 11 back here, the fact that this is significantly lower, it's starting to increase and get up, but still significantly behind where it should be. So when you're looking at stocks, what you're looking for are stocks that are fixing what their problems are. And this particular scenario where Iger is reducing headcount, I'm guessing he's going in and changing some of the money that they're putting into the content for Disney Plus and some of the movies. You look at some of the things that were going on over those 2 years. Now, again, there's some problems with that because of COVID. So I'm not trying to beat on anybody on this, but what Iger's looking at is they spent a ton of money on Disney Plus on a bunch of different shows that may not be there going forward. I'm not beating up anything, but you have Moon Knight, you've got Obi-Wan, you've got the Marvels, you've got She-Hulk, you've got all these different little series that take a lot of money, a lot of effort, and sometimes it takes the effort and the creativity away from the big movies. So you got to wonder, is that going to be a scenario where they're going to continue to do this stuff? Because when I talk to people about Marvel, and I'm a closet Marvel geek myself, but if I can't keep up, and someone who's been in the Marvel universe as long as I have, and I've been a huge Doctor Strange and Thor fan my entire life, and one more coming up would be Warlock, which I don't know if I agree with how they're going with that, but that's a whole other issue. But the point is that if I can't keep up, how is the average person going to keep up with what's going on and all the different stuff that's happening? So I can't help but wonder if there's a lot of things going underneath in this Disney world. Because what we're really looking for, and anybody that thinks there's a big future for Disney as far as the stock is concerned. Now, again, I think it's a great name. I think it's a world-renowned name that few can compare with. But if it's not going to be as profitable as it was before, that's an issue. So whether you're increasing sales or not, totally relevant. When you start looking at the profitability, there becomes the issue. And even here, when you look at 84 billion versus 3.3, we haven't seen any of this show up yet. So what you're going to look for in a Disney stock like this is what they're doing and making the adjustments that need to be made. So hopefully what we'll see is some type of a plan going forward where they're going to start cutting the money that they're spending on some of this Disney Plus programming that is maybe not profitable. The question really becomes, is this going to be an issue, and how is that helpful? Again, you can look at the stock. It was at 0.11 today. The market was sideways, so it didn't help or hurt, which is interesting. But I think the bigger issue is that they got a little bit of a push when Iger took over again. The question is what he's going to do going to solve that problem? So that remains to be seen. But if they're going to give my 2 cents worth on what's going on with Disney, Dickey out.